snacks.
What it do, snackers and snackers? It's your boy Gage here on the couch with the homie Sin.
Yep.
And the homie Jokes.
Yo.
We threw the new out. He's not new anymore.
Oh,
he's old Jokes.
He's old Jokes.
He's old Jokes.
He's seasoned.
Yeah, Uncle
Jokes now.
Uncle Jokes.
Eventually, I guess we'll get the old jokes. So
yeah.
new jokes, old jokes, some point.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. This is Loaded Snacks Weekly, where we get together once a week so we can chat about things that are happening in pop culture. And in this episode, we are talking about things that we think or hope will happen in 2019. So we're at the end of January, okay? And we've already had some things happen, but now it's time to talk about what we think is going to happen in the world of pop culture going forward throughout the remainder of the year.
Like it.
Okay. I'm with that. I'm ready.
My man. All right, so listen. Let me do this before we get started. Who wants to go first? Should I go first?
Set the stage, sir.
I should go first.
Go ahead and set the stage,
All right,
sir.
so this is how we're going to do this. My first prediction, okay, we'll get a much more in-depth reveal of the Xbox Scarlet.
Okay.
Okay, and it will work with PC VR. Got it?
Okay.
So existing VR systems for PCs and future proof, you know what I mean, future coming tech. This for me, we've talked about this before, right? That Microsoft, like at the beginning of last year, or even before, when they first announced, actually a couple years ago, because when they first announced going over to Windows 10, one of the things that they talked about with that switch over to Windows 10 was that they were, they also announced a bunch of like consumer level, lower priced VR headsets that were coming from other companies like Lenovo, HP, and so forth, right? That Windows 10 PCs were being designed to work with all of them, right? So it wasn't going to be something where you needed some huge, crazy, expensive rig like you need to deal with like an Oculus or what have you. And at the time, my thought process was, okay, they have nothing to compete against PSVR, right? And that the opposite direction they were going, it was more of an AR, you know, with HoloLens. And that is something that is not and was not ready for the consumer level, right? So you can still get one for about $3,000 or whatever.
Something light like that.
Yeah, somewhere around there. But I think that while we kind of saw like a lift, a resurgence in VR from PlayStation's end towards the end of last year, a lot of great games that hit for PlayStation VR that seemed to have done really well. We saw a slight price drop. A lot of people picked it up. There were some really great bundles. So there are a lot more people who have VR. We've seen a strong push from companies like Oculus and so forth to put out new headsets that don't require you to be tethered and so forth, which again is probably PlayStation VR's biggest hurdle outside of Revolution is all of the let's hook it all up and get it all, you know, what have you. So while the price point is great for PlayStation VR, I do think that we'll probably see them begin to talk about the second iteration of PlayStation VR, because PlayStation 5 is definitely coming.
Oh, most certainly.
But I don't think that the announcement of PlayStation VR 2, or whatever they're going to call it, is contingent upon the announcement of PlayStation 5.
VR Plus.
I just think it's going to be, well, okay, okay. But I mean, but certainly I would think that they would put it out and they would say, you know, obviously it's going to be compatible with PlayStation 5. Right. But I think that Microsoft has been setting themselves up more for having an ecosystem and kind of allowing people to jump in and having things that seem to work. Like they seem to be really gearing themselves towards anchoring themselves in PC while still showing a lot of love and respect to the console side of things, and respecting the money that comes from there. And it just, to me, now we're talking about streaming and going to the xCloud thing and the Azure servers and all that, that on the hardware side of it, I don't think Microsoft is interested in spending the money on trying to do the R&D for the hardware. Everybody else is already doing that. What's important for them is, to just make it so that what they create
Works with
which
it.
is basically a PC anyway, right? It's running Windows on it. That it just happens to work with headsets that are out and are available, because that's one of the places where Microsoft is like, we know that they've struggled with content that is exclusive to them, right? So that is something they clearly don't have anything in that arena when it comes to battling PlayStation, right? As PlayStation has PlayStation VR, so regardless of whether a title is specifically PlayStation VR or it's available on Oculus or whatever, either way, Microsoft can't really play in that realm when it comes to the console. So if they're going to go ahead and continue to go this route and they put these new systems out, especially when they're talking about doing, you know, the rumors of there being one that has no disc at all, no disc drive at all, you know, one that does have it, one that's a little more expensive and does a little bit more. I think that adding in the compatibility to add VR, if you want to use it, it's there. And that's a big deal because, one, it does allow them to then go after exclusive titles that are VR or possibly AR. But then also, for many of the teams that are developing for VR, there's another outlet for them to make more money in it there, too. So that's where I'm at. I think Microsoft announces that the Scarlet, whatever it will be, will work with PC compatible VR headsets.
That'd be dope to have a VR headset that works on your Xbox and your PC.
Right.
Yeah, and it's not far fetched.
Yeah,
it's not,
no, that's dope.
When you're talking about going into the realm of being able to have your games anywhere, right? Streaming your games, taking them anywhere. If you have a laptop that's powerful enough to run a VR, I mean, why shouldn't you, right? A phone can run VR.
Facts, yeah.
Right?
Facts.
So we're not saying it has to be the most robust or the most powerful. We're just talking about being able to have certain experiences, and a lot of those experiences, again, when you look at the commercials for like Oculus Go and things like that, they are showing people enjoying front row seats at a concert,
Right.
right? Being on stage at a concert, backstage at a concert, floor seats at a basketball game. It's more about experiences like that than it is just about the games.
That's the push.
I think if Microsoft doesn't get on that train, they really miss a huge opportunity.
Absolutely.
So I'm that's where I'm at. You think that's a?
I like it. No, I definitely think that's. I don't think you said a lie or anything about everything that you just said.
I mean, I try not to.
No.
I'm making it all up. Like that's not like I'm making it up.
I like it because I had the Samsung VR, headset thing, but my favorite experience on it was watching like Netflix or like being able to sit in the movie theater, watch the anime I had on my phone.
Like you're sitting in a theater.
Yeah, and it feels like I'm sitting in a theater. You know what I mean? Instead of just watching on a small screen. Like those are my best experiences dealing with it. So like seeing those ads, like I said, people sitting courtside watching it, all that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, I ain't riding
Talking to each other.
Yeah, like I'm not riding no roller coasters and nothing on that. Nah, I try to want some good.
Fun.
Oh, you didn't feel like you weren't feeling that, huh?
Yeah, wasn't my cup of tea.
Okay.
But those other things, I like. Even it had this little free like music thing where it just goes through the galaxy or whatever, listen to music. But it was dope.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that, I'm with.
I mean, I think that's one of the things that people who don't maybe have a PlayStation VR or another VR, they don't seem to get. It's like, technically, you could play any game on PlayStation in PlayStation VR. It's just like you're playing it in the theater on a big screen. You know what I mean? It's not like you're actually in that 3D world, but you can play it like you're sitting in a theater, or something like that.
I gave it to my when I first got it, I gave it to Pops. Yeah, you already know. Blue is mine. Like, Pop, here, just take the phone,
put it on,
put it in, just tap the door on the side, and just go through the tutorial.
Yeah, yeah.
And we just let him sit on the couch, just like, oh my God!
Like those original commercials.
Exactly. And I was just let people like, look, just try it.
Yeah.
Just try it. Then like he would get like, how much that cost? Like, yep, okay, yeah.
I mean,
experience.
for what they cost now, and to be able to do that again with your phone and so forth, like it almost doesn't make sense for them to not get into that realm.
Nah.
So
I like it.
Okay.
I like it, and I'm with it.
All right. What you got?
All right. I have. Give me a second to bring it back up.
Okay.
All right.
Take your time.
All right. Mine is in the realm of anime. I think that One Piece Stampede gets a U.S. release this year. and it's going to do big numbers despite it not being canon.
Now, when you say U.S. release, what are we talking? Are we talking digital? Are we talking video? Are we talking theater? What are we talking?
I mean theatrical.
Okay.
I mean it's going to get a theatrical release.
Okay.
Just like the others, may not be like every single theater, but
right.
It's going to come out over here, like seeing what Broly did, seeing what My Hero did. Like, I'm thinking Gold did come out, if I remember correctly, over here, but I'm thinking as big as it's gotten since then, and showing that there's a want for it over here, Stampede's going to come out and debate. See, these other two work in it.
Okay.
So that is one thing you have to take into account, the fact that they tied into the series.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think despite this one, they haven't announced yet, but history told it's not going to be, canon. But I do think, considering the power behind what One Piece is, and clearly it's been shown that we want these in the theater, I think it's going to do big numbers, despite it not being canon. And people just want to go see it because it's an anniversary year for it. I think it's the 20th anniversary of One Piece this year.
Sounds that.
Yeah, I think it's the 20th anniversary of this year, so it's going to be a big deal because of that.
Okay.
So I expect it to put up big numbers, and I expect it to get a theatrical release in the United States this year.
Okay. What do you think of that?
Now, what do you think? Do you think, are we looking at similar to how Broly is, and it's not like a full theatrical release, it's probably going to be in the theaters for like a week, or do you think it's going to be like a weekend type thing?
I think it'll be limited. I think it'll be limited like Broly. I think they're not, fully committed to throwing the anime out there like that. You know what I mean? So I think it'll be something small like that, but the numbers will be enough to make them keep thinking about it, keep pushing it forward.
IMAX?
Yeah. Yep. It'll get IMAX. If it comes out, it'll get IMAX. 20th anniversary One Piece deserves IMAX.
I mean, but you both would go see it. So
absolutely.
I mean, that's 2 tickets sold already.
Done.
I'm not going.
Technically, it's 4 because I'll probably see it a second time.
We're gonna go. I'm paying for you. We're going.
Oh, there you go. You gonna pay for your ticket?
Yeah, done.
Unless it's so you have an extra seat. Just can spread out.
No, we're going.
The seat,
we're going to see Stampede. I don't know what Stampede's about, but we're going. Don't care. Don't care.
It's a Stampede.
Look, they're not Spider-Man's on tomorrow. You don't, whatever, you going.
Oh. Yeah, what?
Just say it. Same thing, One Piece. I don't even know what it's about. I'm going. Just in the same.
I understand that. I understand that for you.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm paying for your ticket. You know.
Okay. Here we go.
It's that easy.
Alright. I mean, okay. I'm with it. Should I go again?
I got one for you.
Okay, what we got?
So this year we're looking at having a pretty big year when it comes time for wrestling. So we have a new wrestling promotion in the US.
Yeah.
All Elite Wrestling.
Okay. Heard something about that.
Is that gonna crash and burn this year?
No, I definitely don't think it's gonna crash and burn. I think we're looking at a legitimate competitor to the WWE. One of the reasons,
go ahead.
Yeah.
So, a lot of the smaller promotions, realistically, they just don't have the money. They don't have that type of money to put behind the product to push it out and get out there.
Okay.
All Elite Wrestling is being backed by the Khan family that actually owns the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay.
Now, they have a pretty substantial amount of money.
They got old money.
And I mean money that rivals that of Vince McMahon himself.
Okay.
Now, initially, they're starting out small. Couple shows, but I can definitely see where they're going to start creating issues for that of WWE. Small things like running shows in the same city, the same vicinity, the same areas as certain shows that WWE will run.
Okay.
And doing those small things, you'll start to see people having to make that choice. Am I going to go to this AEW? Or am I going to go to this WWE show?
Right, but why would you go to an AEW show instead of going to a W? I mean, again, I'm just talking about in terms of the establishment, right? Like, I get it. Like, I'm all for having a startup come in and do something that's different or whatever. Like, but what is it? What is it that they would do?
So I look at it as a little bit of a different style. Now, with a lot of the characters there, a lot of the folks that are going to be in AEW, they're going to have a little bit more of creative control. So right now, I know they're not looking at trying to bottle it in as like being a PG rating. So they're not afraid to, you know, push the boundaries a little bit further. Whereas, you know, WWE wants to make it's entertainment.
Right.
So they want to make sure, you know, you can sit down with your family.
Right, bring
it
kids
gives you, but that
stuff.
still opens up to a lot more people. But AEW wants to focus on that.
We want that ECW.
They want that core, not even necessarily ECW, but they want that core wrestling fan.
Right.
That they're looking at. The superstars that they're looking at bringing in are definitely going to be a pull that a lot of people are looking for. Okay. Now, a lot of the stars have been in things such as New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Sure.
Now, New Japan obviously shows not easily accessible as far as live events. Now they've started doing more.
Let me ask you this. Is it kind of like, are we at the point where like WWE is too popular? It's too pop culture, and like you know how there's always those people who are like, it's not better than indie, this, that, and the third. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there are people who just, like, Marvel and DC are too much and too, you know, whatever. But these indie comics that are doing things that are pushing it a little bit more, or they can get away with something, like, is it that, you know, is it that fan base that you feel like they're really trying to serve? Because to me, if that's the fan base they're really trying to serve, they'll never be big enough to rival what WWE is doing.
That's just a start. Because obviously, the names that are behind the company, like say Cody Rhodes, I'm sure you're familiar with the name, the family behind them, the Young Bucks, they're very, very popular when it comes time for like Ring of Honor Wrestling, New Japan Wrestling, but they've also started to pull in stars like a Chris Jericho, who is a big name come from the WWE.
He's an old big name, but he's
an old big name, but he still draws a crowd. Now, he showed up in New Japan, and I kind of was like, Chris Jericho, my man went over to New Japan and turned out. Okay. But I think we're going to start to see. I don't think we're at the point of seeing another Monday Night Wars type thing just yet. Right. But I think that's that type of vision.
This is the year where it starts.
This is the year where it's going to start. This is the year it's going to start, and I'm looking forward to it so much. Like, I've been watching other wrestling promotions, but this one is just, I don't know what it is about it. It's just, it gives you a new vibe. It gives you a new feel. And I mean, you love anything that's new.
Sure.
But there's something different about this.
I mean, look, if it comes in and it forces WWE to change things up a little bit, you know what I mean? Because with them not having, I look at WWE the way I look at like Madden, right? Like there just is no competition, so it's just stale. Like, I don't even know how you get excited for Madden. I don't even think people do get excited for Madden every day. They just know they're gonna go get it.
Just like,
you know, new Madden, gotta go get it. Yeah, it's not like, oh, new Madden, right?
We'll see, but I mean, they already little small things. When they did their press announcement, it was actually the same night as Raw or SmackDown. So people left the AEW announcement, went to see Raw or SmackDown, AE gear on. They stopped people from coming in that had their AEW gear on.
I like it.
I mean, I don't know that you can do that if you pay for tickets.
Well, they most certainly did.
Yeah. See that right there? I don't like it. But okay, I'm with that. I mean, I remember they kicked what's the name out. They had the one dude that was in there wilding out during, what was that?
Enzo Amore?
Yeah, and they just...
Oh, yes, I saw that clip, yeah.
They just put my man out quick. Okay, I'm with it. I dig it. All right, let me go next. Let's go ahead and just get this out the way.
Get it out the way.
All right, what is this?
What we got?
Continue.
Captain America will not survive Endgame.
Ooh. So, I'll listen. Okay.
We predicted this before. It just was for the last movie.
Technically, we're still in the same movie.
I mean, it's not the same movie.
The fallout.
But at the time the prediction was made, probably the first time we made the prediction, it was supposed to be a part 1 and part 2 of the same.
Right. So
but what I'm saying is...
You just straight saying.
Look.
No, he's not surviving.
They make it seem like Iron Man's not going to survive. But I don't believe it. And I'm going to tell you why.
I don't believe it either.
This is because, when you see, what happens is when they put out the teaser for Spider-Man Far From Home, you don't see Iron Man in it at all. But you see Happy, and you see the thing signed by Pepper Potts and stuff like that, right? And so people are making all this, and like, maybe my man ain't make it. I don't believe it. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. We saw, right, they had all these toy drops. Right? There was all these toys, right, that came out that showed them in, like, these new suits. And that we saw that a long time ago.
Yep.
Right? But, like, now we've really seen the toys. And you have certain Avengers, not including Spider-Man, because Spider-Man has a toy, but his toy actually says on it, like, that his outfit is inspired from Infinity War. Not Endgame. Right? And he's not the only character that has that. But the ones that have the Endgame, for most of them, except for Star-Lord, who's in, like, his regular gear, his doesn't say inspired by the last film. But they all got these new suits. And people are like, yeah, they look like they might be suits for traveling through the quantum realm, but they got, like, the Avengers symbol. I'm like, who made them? Who else made them?
Reed Richards?
No.
There's only one person
No.
in the current structure who does stuff like that. It's Tony.
Right. Because Hank Pym is dust.
Yep.
So he's the other, because they say that they look like Hank Pym's joint that he was wearing when he went into the...
Could be Banner.
And that's the only other thing I was going to say. I was going to say it could be Banner.
Okay.
Banner is the only other person that I would say could possibly pull it together and make something, because I'm just going to go ahead and jump out here with my other prediction now. Okay. Because it kind of ties into it. We're going to see Ant-Man in Captain Marvel. Because this man was traveling through time.
Would that be the end credit scene?
Yes!
Ooh, fire! High predictions. Let's go.
What I'm saying? He goes back to the 90s, right? And maybe he don't talk to her, but maybe he talks to Fury. And so Fury knows, oh, it's going down. I gotta call her.
And you know what?
You know
that explains why he has the beeper that Joe said.
Why he had the beeper on him at the time.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying. I
like that.
Hot predictions right here. What's up?
Yeah, even because his face when he looks at the girl when she's disappearing, he goes,
oh. And he knows. It's like he knows. He's like, oh, snap, he was right.
I mean, man said, look, you, dog. In 20 years, people are going to start disappearing. Stuff is going to happen.
We're going to see Captain Marvel. And that happens, I will jump up in the theater and scream, my man was right! I will jump up and scream at the top of my lungs.
It's on recorded. It's on our YouTube channel, Loading Snacks.
Yep.
Check it out.
Start throwing cards everywhere. Make it right. Go follow us right now.
Follow us. Listen, because this is the other thing. Y'all know how we saw, like, in the Endgame trailer, they show Ant-Man at the end of the gate, right? And he's like, knocking on the joint, right? And Cap is like, "Is this new?" Right? But that's the thing. If you look in the corner of the joint, it says archive. Like in the upper left-hand corner of the joint, it says archive. Like it's old footage.
See, now I gotta watch that again.
Yeah,
now I gotta watch that again. We done. Okay.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Listen, let's take a break.
That was a lot.
Let's just take a break. Think about that for a minute. We're gonna be right back. What it do, snackers and snackettes? We are the Loading Snacks crew. I'm Gage. This is Sin. This is Kay. This is Coop. And this is Jokes. We are a group of friends who love all things pop culture. We are comic book, anime, gaming, fantasy, sci-fi, tech, and definitely snack people. And we always have been. For the last 4 years, we've been sharing our passion with you all via podcasts, YouTube shows, interviews from convention floors, and of course, Snack Bites.
Snack Bites!
Now, we're looking to take it to the next level. What's the next level? Honestly, we don't know yet. We're looking for your help and input on shaping the way that we grow. We will certainly continue to cover the same topics, but we'd love to do more like Let's Plays and streaming on the gaming side, in-depth product tech reviews, and definitely more traveling so we can cover more conventions across the states, all of which gets pretty expensive pretty quickly. As we're all regular geeks with day jobs, time and money are limited, but our passion and excitement for what we love, combined with the truly inspiring love we get from you all in the community, across social media, and when we see you out and about at different events, keeps us super excited about what the future holds. Your support of us on Patreon will help us buy new video, audio, and editing equipment, fund trips to and from out-of-state conventions, and create all-around better content. Thank you so much, and we look forward to snacking with you in the very near future. One.
Okay. You got it.
I'm going to put it down.
2.
Welcome back, snackers and snackettes. We are predicting things that are gonna happen. They gonna happen.
Yeah, we are.
Gonna happen this year.
We just throwing stuff to the wall. We gonna see if it stick.
Listen, man.
We gonna see if it stick.
Put that spaghetti on the wall.
Hey, that's what
See
we do.
happens.
That's what we do.
All right, look, your turn. What do you got?
My turn. All right. I got one more.
Okay.
I think that the Game of Thrones season finale is going to be the biggest finale of all time.
What?
Hey, my prediction.
Why though?
I just think the caliber of the show, the force behind it, the way I see the social media movement, like just the way they've just grown and just have followed this show all these years or whatever, and just the force behind this season finale, like with what it's about, trying to figure out who's gonna end up on the throne. I mean, the way it's just all coming together, I think it's gonna do astronomical numbers.
I believe that.
Have
I
astronomical
definitely know. As far as being the greatest finale of all time,
You mean as
far as numbers?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, as far as
It's gonna be like
numbers.
the most watched joint of all time.
Yes,
at the time.
yeah, thank you. That's what I'm getting. Stuff like
I
that.
got it.
Not as far as like everybody's favorite of all time. Nothing like that. Just like numbers wise.
It's gonna be.
Yes,
I can see that,
it's going to be astronomical.
A lot of people right now, currently, and I'm actually about to be a part of that, are just binge watching all the other seasons right now.
I'm going to as well again before it starts,
Because they actually released. Someone made like a calendar. Now, here's my issue with the calendar.
Okay.
It's like if you watch like one episode as of last week. It's like if you watched one episode a day.
Mm-hmm.
By the time the season premiere comes on, you're gonna be there.
Be caught up.
But here's my thing: how do you watch one episode a day? How do
You're
you
probably gonna watch more than one anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
At least put you ahead of the curve. But I'm not someone that could just sit down and watch just one episode.
some people don't have time to watch more than one though.
No, you're
That's true, and I don't have a problem with that. I'm not one of those people.
Right.
I got to go in. I need a few. Like I'm not, especially with Game of Thrones.
They're hour
Like,
long, right?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. No commercials. That's just a solid.
45 minutes.
Yeah,
40
no.
solid hour. Solid hour.
Yeah, because HBO, yeah, solid hour. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's mine. I think their numbers are going to be stupid, be historical, like, you know what I mean, all that type of stuff, viewership wise. I think it is.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be ridiculous.
I don't have any beef with that. I mean, it's totally possible.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say it like that. Like it's totally possible. I just don't care. But it's totally possible.
I respect that.
Yeah. Like I'm not in the ecosystem, and I'm not going.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
I'm
yeah.
done.
Fair
I made
enough.
the
You
decision.
think HBO's gonna see a little bit of lift in their streaming service when it comes time for?
What?
What?
Yes.
They're gonna break the bank
Yes.
when that happens.
They are absolutely not.
Yes. They're
I
gonna
can
make
tell
it-
you that.
Price
There's
rate,
people that's
price,
gonna sign up just for those 6 episodes.
price hike right before the last season starts.
No, they're not gonna pull that. They're not gonna pull a price hike, but they will see a hike.
A lift
in their subscription
people.
service.
Yeah, I mean,
they will. They will.
I know people who like subscribe to it while the show is on,
Mhm.
and then when it's off, they like, all right, I'm good.
Good.
You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
they'll watch whatever else HBO has during the time too. You know what I
after
mean?
that
And-
last episode
and that's,
hit?
but I mean,
But
that's
they're
the
there
whole point,
for
right?
they're
Isn't
there
it?
for those like
Right.
8 episodes or whatever. Yeah.
But that's the point, right? The point is, let us have something that you just feel like you have to be a part of. You pay us so you can be a part of it now, and then hopefully, cause you have the service, you watch something else and you kind of get hooked on
Right,
it. You feel the
and
need
you
to-
stay- and you stick
yeah, you
around,
know what I
yeah.
mean. And it's kind of, you see it in the way that they're kind of changing when stuff drops. Like it used to be that like all shows seem to start at the same time,
Yeah.
and at the
Mhm.
same time. Now they do that stupid
Yeah,
like
this one starts in
mid-season
April.
hiatus, and
Oh
yeah,
God,
it's
I
like
hate that so.
yeah, but it makes sense for the way that they're trying to stack things and the way TV works now with different services and all
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. It just, yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely going on a social media blackout once it starts because I'm going to binge watch it, but I'm staying.
Hey,
I'm
listen,
not even opening up.
I know
my
you're
app.
good at it. Best
Yeah.
of luck, sir.
No, I'm not even opening the app.
That's
I'm
cool.
just taking a hiatus.
Just don't. You can't open no apps, bro. You can't open any
I
app.
ain't opening Instagram. I'm not opening Facebook. I'm just off it till it's done.
That's a challenge.
Bro, you can't even look at cosplay. Somebody gonna cosplay a spoiler.
Exactly. I know this very well. Dead such and such. Like, oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, like, no.
He's telling us we can't take pictures of Game of Thrones cosplay.
No, I'm not saying that.
Nah,
I'm staying
on blackout. That's him.
That's me.
That's on him.
We gonna run into it at one of our cons.
You already know, spoiler alert, that at some point.
Oh yeah, let's see. I'm staying away from him.
No, you're not gonna have to worry about that. Away from him. I'm probably not gonna get caught up in time enough. So we're gonna worry about that. If he's coming down here to record, I won't be here.
Okay.
Oh no, don't worry. I'm not gonna have any Game of Thrones Day Talkers. I'm probably not gonna be caught up on that.
Oh, you'll be caught up. You'll be caught up.
I doubt it.
You will.
He gonna find something else to do.
Nah, he gonna get caught up. Have you started?
That's one of your predictions, is that he's gonna be caught up, because he's predicting he won't be. I don't know how this.
Have you started?
I already seen season 1 and like half of season 2, but.
Are you starting over?
No, I've watched those like
recently.
No.
That's what I'm saying. So are you starting over?
Are you trying to catch up before?
No, but I mean, are you going? No.
Eventually, I'm going to start over.
You going to start over?
All right. So the point is you're going to try to watch them.
I'm going to try it, but I'm pretty confident that it's not going to happen, because you know why? Some of these games that are going to come out, my attention is not going to be on Game of Thrones.
I mean, that's true.
That's fair enough.
Kay, do you care about Game of Thrones?
Not that much, but I might get into it just to see how it ends.
Okay. Okay, I respect that. And see, that's part of why I think you might have something there, because I feel like even people who lapsed might jump in just to see what happens.
Just see what happens in the end.
Yeah, let me just get on this last episode.
That's interesting. I'm the only Game of Thrones fan here. Cool. Yeah. But I didn't know that. All right, cool. That's what's up. No, all right, so I'm down.
Let me get ready to upset some people.
All right. Kay, you about to get upset. Don't know why.
Nah, I don't think Kay's gonna care.
Oh, okay.
Matter of fact, I don't think any of y'all are gonna care.
Oh, okay.
You guys out there though.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Let me just jump out here and say this. Right. I think Star Wars Episode 9 is going to be a disappointment.
Dog, I BS you not. That was gonna be my third joint. I was like, I don't know.
No,
that was gonna be my third joint.
I agree with you on that. Now,
I'm not feeling good right now.
Because after 8, like 8 was.
You know what though? I liked 8. But I know that people didn't. For some, like, there's just still this up and down, right? And look, Star Wars is a franchise that is too big for itself at this point. So, like, the idea of not starting over, but starting a new trilogy for generations that weren't there for the last 2, right? Like what Disney and Marvel have done to create brand new fans out of people who are too young to know better, right? Like, I'm one of the people who I don't really understand the hate that people have for the prequel trilogy.
Oh no,
I like all 3 of them. I think people are just being stupid when they start talking about how bad they were, because those movies were not bad.
They weren't. Not
Everybody went and saw them, and they enjoyed them while they were there. And even if you don't like or agree with everything that happened in them, they were not bad movies. But people act like now we're in this place where people love to hate on them.
I can honestly agree with that, because personally, I like that third one.
Sure.
I'm talking about Revenge of the Sith?
Yeah, like I'm looking for the build up. Like, I'm following. Trilogies like this. Me personally, I don't watch them as like one movie, because I know, like Lord of the Rings, I know it's like y'all film them all together, stuff like that. Like, it's one long movie. You know what I mean? So I'm watching it as it's okay. Like, there's just the beginning, there's the middle, there's the end type. Like, I was cool with them. Like, yeah, I enjoyed them.
Yeah, there was nothing wrong. Like, I'm not even saying that people's complaints aren't valid in some way, shape, or form. I'm just saying that the amount of hate that surrounds them, like in a world now where, in a world filled with memes, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, and gifs, like, it just receives a lot of hate that I just don't believe was there in the early 2000s. You know what I'm saying? When those songs came out.
Except for Jar Jar.
That's real. Jar Jar's hate is a real thing. But even he don't really bother me. Like, it's just, he was there, he's a character. It is what it is. Like, it didn't hurt anything that he existed.
Right. He was there for the purpose he was there for.
Yeah, like, it just,
to laugh at. Like, that was it.
I was fine with it. It is what it is. I do understand people being upset with the way that the original trilogy was redone on digital, and they added stuff and things like that. I do understand some of that, right? But I also understand as a filmmaker wanting to be able to go back and kind of revisit things that you now can do in a way you couldn't do. Yeah. But my concern now about this is that while I like episode 7 and episode 8, right now Rey's story is uneventful.
Agree. Yeah.
Right? Like, because the build up from 7 didn't match where we ended in 8. And so I think for a lot of people, again, like you said, we're in the very center of a trilogy, right? The end of that story still needs to be told.
Mm-hmm.
I'm concerned about the way that it has changed hands and like who's directing and it's going back to this person and some of that kind of
it's bouncing between too many hands.
That's where my concern lies, because I was perfectly okay with the idea that like Rey's parents weren't anybody special.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I understand that Luke's parents were special. Like, his father was special anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, technically his mother wasn't special in terms of that. Like, in terms of the Force or whatever, right? Like, I understand that. But, like, who Obi-Wan's parents were who?
And he is savage.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, so it doesn't change the fact that her ability or her strength in the Force or whatever could still be great.
Right. It just seems like they tried to throw... The way it was built, it was like they were trying to build it to reveal that, you know, her parents was some great, amazing Force. And then it was like... The first one was like, oh, my parents left me, whatever. The second one, it looked like we were going to... When she was in the cave or whatnot ever with the multiversions of her, and, you know... The two people were walking forward that was supposedly about to be her parents. It was like, oh snap, it's about to go down. But then they turned into one person. And it was like, okay, maybe it's just one like Anakin Skywalker. She put her hand up.
Dog.
Your dad was Jesus.
And,
that's right.
Okay.
And then it was just her. So it's kind of, I kind of feel.
But here's the problem I have. I feel like you're like literally what you just said is an actual misrepresentation of what actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
Because what you said is, I feel like they set it up to be this. I don't even think that's what happened. I think that the public, that Twitter and Instagram and Facebook decided, she must be, you know, she has to be Luke's daughter. She gotta be that. I'm like, Luke not allowed to have sex.
Know what?
What are y'all talking about?
When it wasn't that. That became part of the issue.
That's part of the story. Like the problem now is that something. That's what I mean when I say that Star Wars is bigger than what it can be, because it's bigger than itself. In that you can't say anything about Star Wars without people from 1977 being like, nah, in this book this happened with this person and did this because this thing.
And I think part of the problem is we're tying this storyline and these trilogies into the old ones.
Correct.
Instead of just building something new in that universe for us to let grow and be its own thing.
Right. Keep in mind that they've already given the green light for the next trilogy.
Yep. Right. That doesn't have anything to do with this, but yeah.
So chill. So listen, I feel like I'm gonna watch episode 9 and be like, oh, that joint was clean. But I feel like the going public is gonna be like, it didn't. And yeah, I mean,
once the first trailer drops, they gonna go in.
Kylo Ren saw. So here's the thing. He got to come with it. Listen to me.
Nah.
Kylo Ren got to come. He got to come with it.
I wanted to see Kylo take on Luke. Like, I was waiting.
Man, Luke would dog walk him.
Oh, no, I know that.
For sure.
No, absolutely.
For sure.
But the effort that he would have probably tried to put in.
Right. Come on.
I would have loved to see that.
Luke would have Broly'd him if he'd have jumped out there.
Is that a term now? Is that what
he'd have got Broly?
Broly, bro.
Couldn't mess with a hologram.
Real talk.
Yeah, real talk.
Like,
he done waste so much money of the Empire, just throw it all at him.
Listen, where are your Force powers? You didn't know that wasn't that guy? You stood in the desert
in front of him
and fought a Tupac hologram. You didn't know that wasn't that guy?
Hey, he got a Birds by Tupac hologram.
And you think you about to be his daddy? You about to be Darth Vader?
No, sir. No, sir.
Are you telling me that we let that dude kill Han Solo? Yeah. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I expect wholeheartedly for Chewbacca to kill that man in this joint.
No,
hey, look.
Let Chewie.
Hey, I will stand up and give a round of applause. Hey, Chewie need to choke.
Because if Chewie dies in this joint, he needs to be the one. He needs to be the one. Vengeance is mine. That's him.
Why he got his big furry paws around his neck?
Yeah. Shake him down.
Yep.
Shake him down.
Nah, he needed him with that gun.
He does actually need him at least
one time.
That crossbow joint. Ooh, right in the gut.
I picked it. I was like, all these years and I never tried this joint.
Yeah. You should have been tried that a long time ago.
Yeah, I definitely rewatched those before.
All right, so listen. Now that we have laid out some of our predictions for 2019, you all do the same. Jump down in the comments. Tell us what your predictions are. Do you think any of us are correct? If you think we are, let us know. I would greatly appreciate a little extra backup.
We appreciate
a little extra backup.
Backup always helps.
Just a little extra backup. Listen, but while you're doing that, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. You just heard that. I don't know how you heard it.
Hey, I thought you said black up.
I didn't, but
don't say need some black up.
That's how you feel. That's how you feel.
Say we got you.
I'm not so sure you do, sir. Listen, if you want to be my black up, let me know in the comments below. While you're there, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And please, if you so see fit in your heart to follow us on Patreon and support us there. We greatly appreciate it. Patreon.com/Loading Snacks. We appreciate those of you who are already supporting us there.
Facts.
And we're looking forward to having a short conversation after this, specifically for you all.
Oh, yeah.
So, if you would like to see that, it's easy.
You know what you got to do, right?
And you just join.
Become a Patreon member.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. So, look, follow us across all social media. We greatly appreciate it. We're at Loading Snacks. We love you. We're out. Toodles and loos.
Loading Snacks.